If you're interested in international affairs, I really think you should check out the Pals Fundamentals YouTube channel. They've got tons of videos on, all sorts of stuff going on globally.
Yeah.
And speaking of international affairs, we're doing our State of the Danish Commonwealth report.
Yeah.
And we've got some pretty big developments to cover.
Yeah.
Between Denmark and Greenland and the U.S.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Starting with the Greenland government, officially known as Naalakkersuisut, accusing Denmark of genocide against the Greenlandic people.
Wow, that's a serious accusation.
It is.
And it stems from a Danish initiative in the 1960s and 70s aimed at reducing birth rates in Greenland.
Right.
The program involved the insertion of IUDs in young Greenlandic women and girls.
Yes, and Naalakkersuisut is alleging that some of these procedures were performed without consent.
Oh, wow.
Which they argue constitutes a systematic effort to limit Greenlandic women's reproductive rights.
I see.
They're currently awaiting the results of an independent investigation to determine if human rights violations occurred and whether Denmark's actions meet the legal definition of genocide.
Okay, so they're waiting to see if this qualifies as genocide?
Exactly.
And what happens if the investigation supports their claims?
Well, Naalakkersuisut is prepared to take the case to the International Criminal Court.
Wow.
However, it's important to note that some legal experts disagree with the genocide categorization.
Okay.
They're arguing that Denmark's actions, while potentially ethically questionable, may not meet the specific criteria outlined in the UN's 1948 Genocide Convention.
Okay, so there's some debate about whether it legally qualifies.
Exactly.
So we've got this potentially explosive legal situation brewing between Greenland and Denmark.
Yeah.
And on the home front, how's the Danish government doing?
Well, not so well, actually. Recent polls show a significant decline in support for the Danish government. Prime Minister Frederiksen, Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen, and Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen are all facing criticism, with analysts attributing this decline in popularity to public dissatisfaction with the government's handling of various issues, including the situation with Greenland.
Right, so this whole thing is impacting their popularity at home.
It seems that way, yeah.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah.
So
a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, we've got accusations of genocide, a former U.S. president wanting to buy Greenland, and a Danish government struggling to maintain public support.
Yeah, it's a messy situation.
Let's unpack this a bit.
Okay.
Starting with the spiraling program.
Right.
Can you tell us more about what exactly happened?
Sure. So between the 1960s and 1970s, Denmark implemented this family planning program in Greenland. A key part of that program was the insertion of IUDs in Greenlandic women and girls.
Okay.
And the stated goal of that was to curb population growth.
So Naalakkersuisut is saying that this was actually an attempt to suppress the Greenlandic population.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
They allege that it was a deliberate effort to control their population growth.
Right.
And then you add on top of that the allegations that these procedures were performed without consent.
Right.
And it just adds this whole other layer of complexity and concern.
And now we've got this independent investigation that's underway to look into all of this and figure out if it was, human rights violations or even genocide.
Yeah, and the findings of that investigation are going to be super important in determining what happens next.
Okay, so that's something we'll definitely be keeping an eye on.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.